if ever we needed fathers in this world, it is needed now. Because, not because I said it or somebody made it up. It's because it is the spiritual order of God, the Father. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. The love comes from above. The light comes from above. And the darkness comes from below through the woman. The light comes from above through the man. And Lord knows we need light in this world. It's interesting in that your life, your family life, if you have a wife and kids, nothing is going to work, period, but that order. You can try everything you want. And in the darkness, that's what people do. In this world, people try everything but the light of the Father to make life work, and it doesn't work. That is mind-blowing to me. Everything that human beings do in the darkness of their mind, their thoughts, their feelings are wrong. It can never be right. It would never be right. It can never be right. It's impossible to be made right. It's crazy. And then what is even more interesting about it is that you can't see what you're doing. What you do, you see it in the darkness of your imagination, and you think that is right. And you think that it's going to work, and it's not, because it's not your thought. Those thoughts are not yours. You don't create thoughts. Human beings are not in control of anything. You can't control yourself or anything else. It's mind-blowing. And it's also mind-blowing to really, really see clearly and without a doubt that parents do not love their children. Oh, they're sad. And when they say it, they sound all emotional about it, one way or another. Feel good emotions or feel bad emotions. And then you applaud, oh. Or if it look like it's good when the mother say, oh, I love my children, or the father, you go, oh. If it's bad, you go, oh, man. You still have a false reaction to it. One thing for sure, and without a doubt, parents do not love their children, and especially mothers. Women have no love for their child or children. And they emotionally say they do, and it's all lies. All lies. And the women need the father there, the husband, the father there to guide her in raising the child or the children. When left alone, she cannot do it. It's impossible. Isn't that crazy? But you could say that she can, and you're lying. And you're doing it because you love lies. The human heart is wicked to the core. Salvation is of the heart. Unless you're born again of the heart, you can hang it up. I don't care what you say. You can hang it up. It's not enough to go down to the church, to the front, and accept Jesus, confess Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and believe that he died again and that he rose, and you shall be saved. That's a lie. That's not how you return to the Father. It ain't work, ain't never work, it ain't gonna work. And yesterday we gave you some clear ideas and pictures of how mothers do not love their children. They don't love them. there are mothers now who are starting to hear the truth and go and forgive their mothers and return to their fathers, and they're waking up. And the love from above is starting to come through them. That's changing slowly. But the average woman, and especially the working woman that's married, does not, do not, is not, can't not, won't not love the man's children, period. She would sacrifice them for ego pleasures. And yesterday, if you missed yesterday's show, podcasted, we gave you down-to-earth proof that women do not love the men's children. I have more proof right now. Parents do not love their children. Listen to this. This was stunning to me this morning while going over it with my producer. This is from the CDC.gov. ADHD, anxiety problems, behavior problems, and depression are the most commonly diagnosed mental disorders in children. Isn't that amazing? In 2016 through 2019, estimate among children ages 3 through 17. 3 to 17. What in the world does any child age 3 through 17? Why would they be depressed or have something called ADHD or behavior problem? What happened? Why would, when I was growing up, you didn't even hear these words. I guess they didn't exist then because fathers and mothers, for the most part, were raising their children. That's gone now. And instead of bringing back the order, they are giving their children fake titles of problems and then medication so that they don't have to be bothered with them. They're like, I don't care about child got ADHD. Give him or her a pill. In 2016 through 2019, estimate among children ages 3 to 17. Listen to this. Approximately 6.0 million with ADHD. 6.0 million children have, they say, that's a lie. I'm not a medical doctor, but that's a lie. They may have anger problem because their fathers are not protecting them from the mothers, but that's spiritual. And medication ain't going to do nothing about it but hook them on other drugs as they get older. You cannot solve spiritual issue with physical nothing. So ages 13 to 7 are approximately 6.0 million with ADHD, approximately 5.8 million with anxiety, approximately 5.5 million with behavior problems, approximately 2.7 million with depression. 1 out of 20 of all U.S. children are taking medication for ADHD. 1 out of 20 of all U.S. children are taking medication for ADHD. Now, do you believe me when I tell you that only anger, evil coming through the mother and corrupting the children and turning them away from the father? Do you believe me now? And then instead of correcting the situation, because all who are born through the woman must be born again of the father, they say, you know what, I ain't changing nothing. Give that child medication and put a fancy title on it so that the world can agree. that is not the mama, it's something else. It's ADHD. Amazing. How do you tell children that they have anxiety or attention deficit something? That doesn't even make sense. Kids are active. They're born that way. But you don't have the patience to be around energized, active children. It's you, it's not the kids. But you'd rather destroy your children than to fix yourself. According to the CDC.gov, children with ADHD may have trouble paying attention, controlling impulsive behaviors, may act without thinking, or be very active, very overly active. Does that sound like children naturally? That's not a medical problem. The problem with you not being able to handle it and then falling for the lie from the so-called experts and counselors, the dummies with degrees who have made a deal with the medication makers. Hey, let's make money off these children. And you sold your children's soul for the money. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. It's not the children, it's the parents. They don't care. They have no love. Watch this from NBC. ADHD medications are in shortage. They're short on the medication. So many kids are on it now. And that makes sense to you? Why don't you look at cause and effect? Why are they feeling that way? Are they acting like their mothers or grandmothers? NBC has reported ADHD medications are in a shortage. Frustrating parents and doctors. The doctor's like, how am I going to make money if they ain't got the pill? Watch this from NBC.
The morning rush, organized chaos at the Didier home in Kansas. Getting 17-year-old Isaac and 9-year-old Joshua off to school. Two of the more than 6 million children on ADHD medicines, caught in an ongoing shortage of the drugs.
Did you take your meds?
Yeah. Turning parents like Jeremy into medical detectives.
Says dexamethasone is not serviced because it's unavailable from the manufacturer.
Do you guys have any 20s in stock? Can we drop her down to 20?
What started as a shortage of Adderall has created a domino effect, says medicines that help 4 of Jeremy Didier's children focus in school and life.
I can't think of anything worse as a parent than knowing that you're letting your kids down by not being able to get them what they need to be successful.
In a joint letter last month, the FDA and DEA pointed to record high prescription rates and blamed manufacturers for not producing the full amounts allowed. But several major manufacturers told NBC News they plan to produce the maximum they're allowed and have asked the government for permission to produce more, so children and adults can keep their focus.
Wow. So children and adults don't have to be responsible. Ain't there some turning your children into zombies because you don't have the patience to raise them? Look how anxious the mother was. Ah, no medicine. What the? That is insane. Those parents are evil. Pure evil. They do not love their children. Turning their children into drug addicts already. And when you grow older and start using other drugs to get high, they're going to say, oh, I don't know what's wrong with that child. I did everything I could for them. I wanted them to be successful. I gave them Adderall or whatever they give them for spiritual issues. That is so insane, I don't even know what to say. But I understand it. When you have anger, you can't see what you're doing. Everything you do is wrong. It's impossible to be right and do right when you have anger. Impossible. They have a shortage on this medication. And the makers like, we got to get the government to give us permission to make more. We need money. Money, money, money off these human beings. And this woman had a whole little thing of medication and just pop them over and feed them. And then when it's time to deal with real life, then those kids are not going to be able to do it. They won't be able to handle real situations because they've been high all through their youth. They've been unconscious, not dealing with anything. That is crazy. See why you have to be born again of the Father and be in the world but not of it? The world is hell on earth, and not the physical world, but the people like that in this world who have not overcome and returned to the Father. Joel, he was telling me that he know a girl who was put on a type of steroids for her eczema, and took them for years. And now she has a chronic skin illness. Think about this. Parents are helping, leading the way, not just helping and destroying their own children. They don't have to go to Iraq or Palestine or Israel, anywhere. It happened right in the home. Your home is your war zone. It's not a place of rest anymore. It's not a place of love. It's a place of hate. MedlinePlus.gov is saying that Munchausen by proxy is a mental illness and a form of child abuse. The caretaker of a child, most often a mother, make up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms, make up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms to make it look like the child is sick. Watch this from WFAA.
Munchausen syndrome by proxy is a complicated disorder. Simply put, it's medical abuse when a child or someone in another person's care is put through unnecessary medical treatments because their caretaker lies about the victim's health and symptoms. Doctor shopping is a big one when a caretaker goes to multiple medical facilities, sometimes in different states, to get procedures done. Another, the caretaker might insist on a diagnosis that tests prove to be false. One of the more recent cases involved Dallas mother Kayleen Bowen. In 2019, she was arrested for medical child abuse or Munchausen syndrome by proxy. She was sentenced to 6 years for subjecting her son to hundreds of unnecessary procedures and surgeries.
Amazing. Now, do you believe me when I say that the women need the fathers, the husbands, the father to guide them in raising children? They cannot do it on their own. They need the light that comes through the father to guide them. And ladies, in case the husband don't change or the boyfriend, whomever, you can go straight to the father too and overcome the darkness, but you got to work on yourself. You got to forgive your mothers because they have recreated you in their image and you repeat the same old thing. Why do you think our world is falling apart? Look who's taking over. You're giving it over to them, the women, and everything is going to hell real fast. Everything. Nothing is working. And it ain't going to work. It didn't work in the home, and it's not going to work outside of the home. That's not the order. They're faking this all for the thrill of it. Mothers are getting the thrill of making the children sick. And you say, oh, poor baby. And she love it. That feel good. All for the thrill of it. Anyone who has anger love the thrills, and they'll do anything to get the thrill. It doesn't matter what. Attack other people, attack your own children, attack yourself to get a faucet of life. This is why I say that you must be born again, so that you can overcome the layers and layers and layers of identities you have taken on. It's interesting in that the world changed the name from evil and call it everything else but evil. Munchausen. That's evil. But they give it a fancy name instead of saying, this evil mother have done this to her children or child. Or they call it Munchausen. According to the report, this woman doing it to her own kids for the thrill of it. Think about, look at your own individual life. Be honest with yourself, even if you don't say it out loud. You're not obligated to. But look at how you love the thrill of things and what you do for a thrill, a so-called good thrill or a bad one, and or both. Epic Time is reporting parents' personality disorder driving surge in trans kids. Parents' personality disorder driving surge in trans kids. Transhausen by proxy, a term coined for parents who pushes gender transitioning on their children. And because they enjoy the attention from having a trans kid, may be playing a role in the rise of transgender children. This is evil. Watch this from Postman Clinic.
At 10 years old, Josie Romero believed she was born in the wrong body, and her parents have been seeking a controversial hormone therapy that would start chemically changing her boy body into an adolescent girl's.
Are you a boy or are you a girl?
Maybe I'm a boy inside and a girl outside.
Really?
Yeah, is that true?
Only you know the answer to that. So if you wanted to grow up to be a man,
Yeah.
would you tell me?
Yeah.
Hey, if you wanted to grow up and be a man, you could.
I want to be... Sometimes I think I'm a boy, sort of, but I want to be a girl.
Yeah. I feel like maybe there's a part of you that's afraid to tell me what you really want. What if I said, oh, please don't be a girl?
But I guess I'll be a boy. I need to listen to you, my mom.
I have to listen to you.
Yeah, well, if you said I need to be a boy, maybe
No.
I have to.
No.
Had Vanessa's wholehearted, unwavering support of Josie's transition actually pushed her child too far, too fast?
Amazing. That's an evil, wicked mother imposing that on the boy. And even in the tone, the way she talked to the boy is evil. I have to listen to you. The boy said, no, I have to listen to you. You're my mom. Now, why don't you know something else gotta be wrong? For a mother of a man's child to tell her son, or even influence or encourage, or even have anything to say you're a girl, all for the thrill of it. And they give it fancy names instead of calling it evil. I want you to know, do what you want. And I understand most people are not going to accept it. Some are. Those who are hearing it and can see it, they're overcoming. But every human being, born through the woman is possessed with evil after they come through the woman. They're not born that way unless the mother was pregnant or carrying on while she was pregnant. She can corrupt the spirit of the child from good to evil, even in the womb. And they'll come out of the womb a little Hitler because their spirit was corrupt in the womb. But it's the spirit of the mother that's doing this, which is the spirit of the devil. It's not the mother herself spirit, but it's the evil spirit that's in her. And you see what this lady doing with that little boy, trying to, whatever. You could be a girl, what you want. The boy was like, well, I have to listen to you. You're my mom. And where's the father to protect his son from that? And they put a fancy name on it, trans housing for transgender children. That's evil happening to innocent children, corrupting their spirit. You must be born again of the Father. Ain't nothing going to get better for you in life until you are born the second time of the Spirit. You're born of the flesh, and this is what happened. Why not be born of the Spirit and be free? You are possessed. Anyone that has anger, you're possessed with the spirit of evil. It ain't nothing else but that. And it brings on anxiety and worry, fear and doubt. It brings on these things because there's nothing good in that nature of evil, which is the nature of devil. And you have these stupid people with degrees telling you it's this, is that. They call it everything but what it is because educated people are dumb people. Intellectual people are dumb people. They're separated from truth. I want you to hear my producer reading this thing from the New York Times. How come you don't see? I mean, I'm asking this question. Why don't you see that it's evil in you? And I'm still going to ask, but I know the answer, and I'm still asking. Why don't you, as an individual adult, see the evil inside of you? Why don't you stop listening to anybody else and listen to the Spirit of the Father inside of you? And stop letting these people put these fancy names on it so that you don't see that it's evil. You are possessed with the spirit of evil inside your body, your mind, and emotions. And anyone that is into emotions, feelings, and anger and all that, you better run. That's an evil person. Isn't that amazing? It's almost heartbreaking to see that woman do that to that boy, according to the report. So Sean is here, and my producer, amazing stuff. I'm stunned. I'm not stunned that these things are happening, but at the numbers, I had no idea. Even the New York Times knows better. Watch this.
You know, usually New York Times is not necessarily on point about things.
Yeah.
And even this is you know, says things that we wouldn't necessarily agree with. But what happens is kids, especially, I mean, the amount of kids that I knew growing up who were put on medication because they were a little fidgety or a little hyperactive is insane. And it messes them up, you know. They're on it for years and then they try to go off it. And then they have to go on antidepressant medication or something else to try to fix that.
Amazing.
And so
you knew kids like that growing up. I didn't know any kids like that growing up.
Many kids.
That is insane.
So they wake up, I've said this before on the show, but they wake up, especially boys, you know, boys need that rough and tumble play. They need to be physical.
It's a born,
right.
It's given to them by God.
So they wake up in the morning, their parents give them sugary cereal for breakfast, and then they have to go sit in a hard plastic chair for 8 hours. And then if they're a little fidgety or they're a little talkative, they label it as ADD or ADHD, and they put them on something to calm them down and help them focus.
When God said the heart is evil, he wasn't lying about that.
Yeah, so anyway.
What the?
The,
Well, he doesn't lie about anything, but he wasn't lying.
New York Times says policymakers around the world have pushed to make mental health resources more available to young people through social media. Therapy influencers flood online feeds with content about personality disorders. Studies have found that these programs made their mental health problems worse. So, in other words, influencers, people online talking about personality disorders, trauma, panic attacks, and they just, kids who don't know any better will just start labeling themselves as things because they see it online. They don't know. They're not mental health professionals.
They just repeating what they hear.
Yeah. Greater awareness of mental illness leads people to talk in terms of symptoms and diagnosis. Teenagers are especially prone to take psychological labels to heart. Instead of I am nervous about X, a teenager might say I can't do X because I have anxiety.
Wow,
And
I hear that a lot.
You hear that a lot, right?
Yeah.
People who say it's my anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do that today. It's my anxiety acting up.
And so that's what it means when it says greater awareness of mental illness lead people to talk in terms of symptoms and diagnosis.
Right. Right. So they hear these words and they say, oh, I'm diagnosed as this, or I'm diagnosed as that.
I hear that all the time.
And they're so prideful of it. It's that they get an identity from it.
Move Sean to his right a bit. To your right.
That's my right.
Oh, okay.
The other way. My left.
Oh, Joel said you're right. No, he's black. Joel, you don't even know right from left? Anyway, but that's insane.
It's a major issue. Especially boys. But not always.
It's amazing to me how in today's world, adult parents and non-adult folks, non-parent adults, they listen to so-called experts about everything because they're in their own life.
Yep. Yeah, I'm rewatching The Sopranos right now on HBO, and the kid in the family is in school, and the school tries to tell the parents that he might have ADD or ADHD, and the father, Mr. Soprano, comes in and he goes, define a fidget. What's a fidget? Define it. What is that? You know what I mean? If he's rocking his leg up and down, is that a fidget? You going to put him on medication for that? It's like they're
crazy.
Boys. They're just boys.
I have a friend of mine where his daughter, the school was trying to encourage his wife to let them put the daughter on that kind of medication. And the mother was going to let it happen, but they happened to talk to the father about it before it happened. And the father said, no, not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that happen. Y'all ain't put my daughter on no medication.
Right.
She ain't got no problem. And then now she's a doctor. Never got the medication, grew up like a little girl should.
Yep.
And she's doing fine. Not drugged out, not in a coma, unconscious coma. All that, it's crazy.
Yep. Several friends were just put on meds.
They are doing this because they trust somebody with a degree of their own life.
Nobody talks to them about forgiveness. Nobody talks to them about anger.
Nobody tell them, you know what? You're angry. You're possessed with evil. You need to get better, mother. So the kids will be fine.
Yeah.
Ain't no money in that. That's why they do it that way.
Right.
Ain't no money. It's all for the money and the ego.
And they're mostly females too. The boys wake up, they go and they have a female teacher at school. A lot of them don't have fathers in the home, so they have a mother, aunts, grandmas at home, female teachers at school. There's no males.
Even the police is female.
Yeah. You want to play that real quick? It's really funny.
Oh, where is it?
It's 2C. I could read it if you want.
Okay.
Video posted from Daily Mail. Video posted on social media. 4 female Chicago police officers attempting to arrest a suspected shoplifter, has sparked backlash over the department's health and fitness standards.
Watch this. These 4 women, females, cannot handle one person. What the? Watch this. So the cops stopping, 4 women, 1 male.
You get another vehicle over to the system on the east side of northeast corner of 95th and Ashland.
Can I get a couple more cars?
They have 4 people there already.
12
out.
Hey, boss, let's transport 1.
That lady's like, no, I'm too fat for this.
0206. 213. All right, 95 and Ashland. Give me some more cars. Give me some more cars, 95 and Ashland.
You got 4, they can't stop. They need more cars.
233, we got it.
Unbelievable.
What a mess.
Can we get another car, please? Maybe 4 more females to get it done.
Wow.
Yeah. So
This is horrible, but I understand it. It's evil. It is pure evil.
yeah.